and ones, empaths, one thing you got to realize is, right, the narcissist is always playing a game, okay? And actually, game's the wrong word for it, but they're seeking to control you. And oftentimes, if you've been pushed away, being made to feel like nothing, devalued, it's actually them pushing you away out of desperation. You know, they're so desperate for your supply, and when they like antennas on the feelers, the antennas on an ant or whatever, the little things, they're always out with the narcissist, right? And they get little feelings from energy and stuff, and they feel like you're slipping away. They feel like you're slipping out the palm of their hand, and they begin to premeditate a plan about how to push you away, right? To make you feel like nothing, so that they can get some control over you. But you have to understand that this pushing away, right? Naturally, our natural inclination is to be like, yo, let me try to fix the problem. What's going on? Let's talk about this. That never works, right? But they're pushing you away to actually seize control over you. They're pushing you away because they feel like you're losing you, and they want to reel you back in. They want to reel you back into a place where they've got control over you. And if that means them having you at a distance, right, just to gain control, then they'll do that. And if that means converting the positive supply to a negative supply source, they don't mind doing that either, because supply is supply to them. But you have to understand this. If you are in a place where the narcissist has pushed you away, has potentially run off with a new supply, has made you feel like nothing, they're doing this because they want control over your heart. They are energy vampires first and foremost. We have to understand this. And you have to look back in retrospect at your own journey. I won't be able to tell you exactly what it is, but I noticed signs within my own journey where the narcissist felt like they were losing me. And rather than losing me, and because they suffer with abandonment issues, rather than them being on the receiving end of me discarding them, they decided to discard me, you see. And it was actually because of their own insecurities. And they wanted to seek control. They wanted to control me, and they wanted to reel me back in. But honestly speaking, I've thought a lot about this. And, initially I used to think, why didn't I just cut them off when I did? Because there was plenty of times, I would want to walk out on them, and they would threaten to take an overdose. They did actually take an overdose, right? And I had to pull the pills out of their mouth. And the reason this was happening is because they just wasn't literally understanding that I was a true person. I was an honest person. I was a kind person. No, I'm not perfect, and I was still a work in progress, but they weren't ready to understand that, right? And they used to use all these manipulation tactics, threatening with their own life, etc. Please press the like and the subscribe button. Help your brother out. It would take 2 seconds of your time. Thank you. They used to threaten with their life, that they're going to end their life if I walk out on them. Stuff like this. Tell me to go. Then when I go, I remember one time they threw bleach at me. It was very dangerous, right? And it was actually, it was a dangerous situation to be in, right? But when I look back on it, I didn't actually have the heart to walk out on them, and I'm glad I didn't walk out on them, because if I'd walked out on them and left them, right, if I'd actually broken up with them, I don't think I would have got over it. The way that I've got over it now, I don't think I would have ever got over it. I think if I'd broken up with him, and this is what maybe you can relate to this, empath, please put it in the comment section. A lot of the times, if we were the ones that actually initiated the discard and we cut them off, right, I don't think we could have lived with ourselves, because we would have had a fragment of what that person was about, and we would have remembered the good times, and we would have remembered everything good about that person, and we would have felt like, why did I actually act like such a prick? Why did I cut them off? I think we would have gone through dumper's remorse, And I don't think we would have been able to handle it. And then maybe perhaps we might have tried to reach back out to them after some time, and they might have moved on by then or whatever. And I don't think that we would have actually been able to live with ourselves. So I'm very glad the way that God let the plan unfold. I believe it was all a perfect plan and divine intervention of God that actually allowed the narcissist to be blindsided, to push me away, to think they can control me, and not realize that that's actually propelling me further into my person and allowing me to become more one with myself and more one with yourself. And that's why you've got to take the gift of the discard, right? This is kind of aimed at people that were discarded. Actually, it's kind of aimed at if they devalued you and pushed you away too, and you had to cut it off with them. Either. I think it's good that we endured this. It's good we saw that side of them. It's good we saw that side of the face, because it allowed us to really see who we're dealing with. Do you see what I mean? Because I don't think, honestly, if you're a true chosen one, an empath, right? We have such high levels of empathy. I don't think I would have actually been able to break up with a narcissist. And that's actually why I was stuck in a relationship for so long. It's because I felt like a carer. I felt like they were relying upon me. I felt like they needed me. And maybe they just made that up. Maybe they didn't need me at all. Or they did, you know what I mean? They needed me for supply. But I felt like they needed me for other reasons, or someone to depend on as a partner, as a companion, And I was there through the good times, the bad times, the good times, the bad times. I was going to be there as a loyal person, Even times when I was at work and there was interest from other females. I remember I told the narcissist, there's a girl at work and she likes me. I was so honest, it was brutal. And I tell you what, there's one thing that I've learned, right? Narcissists can't handle brutal honesty. Chosen ones and empaths, you've got to realize you have some of the most brutal honesty it's known to man. And a lot of narcissists can't handle that honesty. You see, when we're so honest, they begin to analyze the honesty, but there's nothing to analyze. It is what it is. I've told you exactly what it is. There's nothing to analyze. There's nothing to analyze. I've been as real as I can possibly be with you. And you still tried to look for holes in it. They still tried to look for holes in it and flaws in it. You see what I'm saying? And just realize, I just want you to understand and actually take the blessing out of being discarded or being pushed away so far that you had to cut them off. I want you to understand that they've done this out of a desperate plea. They've done this from a place of seeking attention. You see, they're subject to intrusive thoughts. They are very badly subject to intrusive thoughts because they're plugged into these demonic entities. These dusty weirdos are plugged into these demonic entities, and they're subject to intrusive thoughts of imagining you with someone else, of possibly being on the receiving end of a discard. And they suffer from a lot from their past experiences, from their exes and stuff. And they bring that into the relationship with you, and it's the thing that they're gonna have to live to regret, because those intrusive thoughts that they suffered with, all they did is project them onto you. You see, they was worried about you going off with someone, so they said, okay, let me push them away and let me go off with someone. So realistically, they're very weak. They're very weak, and they made some terrible decisions who they decided to go off with. I tell you what, right? I'll tell you a story. The last time I looked here, this was like some years ago now. The last time I looked on the social media of the narcissist, right? There was 2 last times. I saw them once with the new supply, and I said, what? And I remember in my heart, like, they've settled for something like way below par. And I began to think, well, did they really settle for that? And then I looked again, and then I see how they're trying to groom the new supplier to be to just have a tiny little look of me. The new supplier will never look like me because we're all unique. But I just saw something that they tried to do. You know what I'm saying? And I said, oh God. And the narcissist the narcissist was just doing certain things within the displaying on the social media, which was directly aimed at me. And I said, wow, they're actually orientating their whole social media at me. And I never looked again. Let God be my witness. Let God strike me down. I never looked again. And I understand if you lot are still looking, but if you see too much, just cut it off, There'll come a time when you say, all right, I'm not going to look on their social media. And I don't look on their social media now. I don't even care about them no more. Do you know what I'm saying? And the only thing that I know is that they pushed me away when I look and analyze the situation, because naturally I have to reflect on things because I'm making this content for you people. And naturally, by me going through a bad experience, I've actually been able to reach to the people, to the listeners, you know, to all of you listeners, and to those of you that actually understand the message and are actually able to digest this message and this content, because this content's not for everyone. I've actually been able to turn darkness into light and actually been able to take that situation and turn it into something positive. You see what I'm saying? So I do reflect from time to time about situations, but when I analyze my own situation, going back to the last day I was there, going back to the weeks prior, the narcissist was trying to push me away because they felt like they was losing me. And it all started off me getting a new job. You see, the narcissist was insecure about me getting a new job because it was at a university, and she was worried about potential people that might try and pull me out, you know, draw me out, you know. That's what she was worried about. So she kind of thought, right, let me do the discard. I'm going to show him, you know, I'm going to make him chase after me and only want me and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And now she's become the last person that I want on earth. So it backfired. Basically, it backfired on her so bad, you know. I did try reach out. I did speak from my heart, but within the time that I reached out and tried to speak from my heart, I mentioned in there about her lying. I called her on her BS. I called out the whole thing. And I swear to God right now, yeah, she'll regret what she done for the rest of her days. Trust me, if you leave them to their own devices, they will get to the understanding where they realize that they effed up. And they're never going to find us again. No matter who they search through, no matter who they try to find, they're never going to find someone with our unique insight, our intuition, right? They're never going to find someone with our abilities. So you have to understand that. They had us for a period of time, and they need to be thankful to God that they even had us for that period of time. So they need to look towards the universe or look towards God, and they need to give thanks and praise for even bringing us into their life for the time that we was there. And that's the last that they're going to have of that. You know, so just really analyze. If this is fresh wounds, you've been pushed away, understand that the narcissist, this is a desperate call for attention. It's a desperate plea for attention. They're just trying to reel you back in. You have to understand this. And the narcissist does everything with reverse psychology, you know. They're moving on with a new supply. Yes, to a normal person, you'll think, oh, they're miserable with me. They went with a new supply. That doesn't mean that with a narcissist. You're dealing with a narcissist. You're dealing with someone who uses reverse psychology. And you just have to see beneath the veil. You have to see beneath the veil. All of my content is made for people that see beneath the veil. And trust me, listen to this content. It will help you see beneath the veil. So anyway, thank you for watching today. Please press the like and the subscribe button. If you would like to donate to the channel, you can find the link in the description box. And if you would like a one-to-one session with myself, you can also find the link in the description box. Currently, I have the secondary channel, the spiritual channel. If you want to check that out, the link is also in the description box. So anyway, thank you all for watching today. I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.